The rain fell over Brookdale like a quiet apology, soft and cold, soaking into the old market street where a tired man named Daniel trudged forward with his little girl in his arms, her head resting against his shoulder, her breath fragile like a candle struggling against the wind. Her name was Lily, 6 years old, weak from weeks of illness, and still trying to smile even when her small body trembled with fever. Daniel had once been a proud man, a factory technician with steady work. But everything collapsed after the plant shut down. Jobs vanished, bills grew teeth, and life became a long road of humiliations, each one cutting deeper than the last. Today was Lily's birthday. She had whispered in his ear that morning, her voice tiny and excited, saying, "Daddy, can I have cake? Even a small one." He had kissed her forehead and promised he would try. Try was all he ever had left. So he walked from shop to shop, clutching the last few coins he owned, rejected at every counter. The bakeries he visited were filled with warm lights and sweet smells. But the moment he explained he didn't have enough money, the smiles disappeared, replaced by cold stares that made him feel smaller than dust. "Sorry, sir. We can't do that. Maybe next time we don't give charity." Charity. He hated the word. He never wanted a handout. He only wanted one thing, a simple birthday cake for his daughter. Something to make her forget, even for a moment, the heaviness of their life. When he reached the final bakery, an elegant shop made of glass walls, polished floors, and gold lettering, his heart sank. He didn't belong here, but Lily shivered in his arms. So he stepped inside. What Daniel did not know was that the owner of the bakery chain, a self-made billionaire named Alexander Crane, was sitting in the VIP lounge above, drinking coffee while reviewing plans for his newest project. Alexander was a man feared and admired in equal measure, sharp, disciplined, raised in poverty, and determined never to return to it. People called him ruthless, but he saw himself as realistic. The world is hard, so you must be harder. He never involved himself in store-level issues. Staff handled them, and he simply bought, built, and expanded. But today, fate placed his path directly above Daniel's shattered hope. Downstairs, Daniel approached the counter, embarrassed, speaking softly so no one would hear. "Excuse me, do you have an expired cake? Anything old? Something you were going to throw away?" It's for my daughter," the cashier, a young woman with bright lipstick and colder eyes, stared at him like he'd insulted the store. "Sir, we don't sell expired cake. I'm not asking you to sell it," he whispered, adjusting Lily in his arms as she coughed weakly. "Just, please, if you have something you can't use anymore, something that would be thrown out. It's her birthday today. She just wants a cake." People in the line behind him snickered. One man muttered, "If you can't afford cake, Don." "Have kids?" A woman laughed, not even hiding it. Shame burned Daniel's face. Lily lifted her head with effort and whispered, "Daddy, we can go home." "It's okay." That broke him. That shattered him more than the laughter, more than the humiliations. He swallowed, stared at the cashier again, and whispered, "Please, anything." The girl rolled her eyes and said loud enough for the whole store to hear, "Sir, this is a luxury bakery. We don't give trash to customers. Maybe try the dumpster outside." The customers laughed harder. Lily hid her face in her father's neck. What none of them realized was that upstairs, through the glass balcony, Alexander Crane had heard everything. He watched silently, his expression unreadable, his hands tightening around his coffee cup. At first he felt nothing, just another desperate man in a world full of them. But then he saw the girl's frail arms around her father. He saw her try to smile even as tears welled in her big, tired eyes. Something flickered inside him. A memory, a sound, a little girl's. Voiced his sister crying on her 10th birthday because he couldn't afford a cake either, because their father had run. And their mother worked double shifts and still couldn't buy more than stale bread. Alexander blinked, shaken for a moment, the ghost of the past tapping on the door of a heart he thought he had locked long ago. Downstairs, Daniel backed away, holding Lily close, whispering apologies she shouldn't have to hear. "I'm sorry, baby." Daddy tried. "I'm sorry." They turned toward the exit. That was the moment Alexander rose from his seat. He wasn't sure why. He wasn't sure what pulled his feet forward, down the stairs across the glossy floor. But he moved. And as Daniel reached the door, Alexander called out, "Wait!" Every head spun. The room fell silent. Daniel turned slowly, confused, and saw a tall man in a crisp black suit walking toward him, confident steps. Sharp eyes, a presence that made the entire bakery straighten instinctively. The staff recognized him instantly. Their faces went pale. Mr. Crane." The cashier stuttered, trembling. Alexander ignored her. His eyes were fixed only on Daniel and Lily. "You asked for an expired cake?" Daniel swallowed, embarrassed. "Yes, sir. I don't have money. I wasn't asking for charity. I just wanted something that would go to waste anyway. And, my staff told you to check the dumpster?" Alexander's voice was cold as winter steel. The cashier froze. "Sir, I keep quiet," he said without raising his voice. Everyone shut up instantly. He stepped closer to Daniel. "What's your daughter's name?" Lily, Daniel whispered. Alexander knelt slightly so he could speak to her eye level. "Lily, do you like birthday cake?" She nodded shyly. "What kind?" "Chocolate," she whispered. "With sprinkles." But it's okay if it's chocolate with sprinkles, it is," Alexander said firmly. He looked toward the staff. "Bring me the best cake in the store, custom decorated, extra."
Chocolate, extra cream, and bring toys, something soft, something gentle, and warm clothes now. The staff practically ran. Customers stared in stunned silence. Daniel stood frozen, not understanding what was happening. Alexander straightened and looked at him. "No father should beg for his child's happiness," he said quietly. "And no child should feel guilty for wanting a birthday." Daniel's lips trembled. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to." But that wasn't true. He needed something, not money, not gratitude, but something much deeper. Something Lily was giving without knowing. A reminder that he still had a heart. Minutes later, the staff returned with a huge chocolate cake. Candles, a pink plush bear, warm clothes, and a soft blanket. Alexander ordered them to clear a table. Right there inside the luxury bakery, Alexander Crane, the billionaire everyone feared, lit the candles and said, with a gentle voice no one had ever heard from him before, "Lily, make a wish." And when she closed her eyes, the entire bakery watched the tiny girl blow out the candles. Some even cried. Daniel couldn't hold back his tears. "Why," he whispered to Alexander, voice shaking, "why would you do this for us?" Alexander looked at him, and for the first time in years, his voice carried something human. "Because once I was you."